Hello and welcome to VanillaTV. This is Admirable. I'm joined by DJC on the mic and comedian on the camera tonight. What's up, bro?
I spent the entire day playing Dishonored. That's what's up with my life. What about you, Ads?
Ah, you goddamn Yanks! It's not
Yeah,
out
we
in
get
the
every
UK
game
until the
earlier,
12th,
don't we?
man.
We get every
It's just-
game like a week early.
Those ruthless publishers, Bethesda, I can never pronounce that. But we are here anyway, not for Dishonored, but for another amazing game. Team Fortress 2. It's going to be some competitive action here in the ETF2L Premier Division tonight, DJC. Have you been doing your homework, or are you just totally clueless yet again?
The homework I have done is in Dishonored, where you play the role of a man who can... The way I'm playing it is that I play very stealthy and I never get a kill. And since this is TF2, I really hope we don't have someone doing that tonight in this matchup between The Last Resort and Quarantine. But I have done a little bit of homework. You've aided me with that. You linked me some logs that showed me that The Last Resort in their warm-up with the other Premiership team, Punchline, went 2-2, pretty even on Snakewater. And I did just cast Quarantine the other day, so I do know a little bit about them as well. But what do you got for me, Admirable? I know you always bring in the stats, you bring in everything you possibly can.
Yeah, man, I'm just going to try and share those links, but my account on Twitch cannot post links to the chat. Hopefully our VanillaTV admins can help me out here. But in their practice game, they played against Punchline 2-2 on Snakewater, like you say, and 6-1 on Process. So looking pretty confident as they go into this fixture. They will be playing Quarantine, who are currently in 4th place with 6 points. The Last Resort currently 3rd place with 8 points. If they Last Resort win tonight, they're going to be tied for 1st with my own team, Crack Clan. Equally, if Quarantine win, they're going to move up to 3rd above Epsilon, but Epsilon still have a few games in hand, so I wouldn't get too excited about that, DJC.
Especially because Epsilon get to play you in a little while here, and they're going to trounce you absolutely and utterly, so that'll be 6 more free points for them in the standings.
Absolutely, DJC. In terms of the current results so far for the season, neither team has played on Snakewater or Process yet, which are the maps we have tonight. Just the way it's worked out. Well, actually, the Last Resort played against Crack Clan and Snakewater. Tell a lie, they actually beat us 3-2. So I guess going on empirical evidence, they're the favourites for that one at least. But I really can't say who's going to win tonight. I think it's going to be really close. Quarantine, probably the less... They've been together for a shorter period of time with this current roster, but they're playing a really solid game. They play a very defensive style, happy to let other teams sort of hang themselves. So hopefully we're going to see a lot of stalemates tonight, because that's just awesome.
I really don't expect so. I mean, what we did see of Quarantine, I don't remember what the maps were. I believe it was Gullywash and Badlands that we casted Quarantine versus Deserto. But regardless, like, passive play against a team who's actually kind of coordinated, which, no offense to Deserto, but they're so newly formed with their current 6. Still trying to get the gangs together. I think are staying together for, I believe, 2 full seasons now. They've gone to LAN together even. They're going to have their things a bit more in order, so it's going to be harder for that passive style of play to work because the Last Resort just simply aren't going to make as many mistakes.
Yeah, they're really putting themselves forward as contenders. I think a lot of people were surprised whenever they managed to get a draw against Crack Clan. I'd say that was probably us playing badly, but they're definitely a solid team. They got some great players, especially their medic Evilmoon. Got some medic love for that guy. He has really stepped up his game this season since LAN. I wondered whenever BFF were formed why Darn was interested in picking him up, but now I fully understand. He's definitely the glue that holds that team together, I think, DJC.
I actually have some unique experience here. Back in the day when I was the king of not double mixes, regular mixes, I actually played a few times with Evilmoon because my good friend Mar from the old Knifeback Mountain and Paroxysm and Team Deserto was friends with Evilmoon, got him in on a few occasions. He's honestly one of the most mechanically sound medics I've ever played with, has pretty good comms, despite the fact that he's Finnish, and that tends to mean, in TF2, Finns are just wasted constantly as they play this game, but Evilmoon seems to have somehow avoided that, or he's just better at handling his liquor, and he's pretty sound on the comms as well, so I really enjoyed playing with Evilmoon, and I'm glad to see him in the Premiership today.
Yeah, I think he's one of these new generation of Finns, that are actually just serious gamers and not drunken messes like Darn. I've been told both teams are ready to go, DJC, so I'm going to give them the signal and hopefully we'll see action in 90 seconds.
Let's do a quick rundown of the rosters here. Over for the last resort, we have Evilmoon on Medic, the man we've been talking up so far. The ever-fearless team leader, his, is on Demoman. We have Drosophile and Donut, the Belgian and French partners, on Scout, with Traxantic and Cyber on Soldier. Over for Quarantine, we have Kritzonite on Medic, Zappis and Vikun, aka Kun, on Scout, with Fwo on Demoman, Kalho and Lime on Soldier. A bit of a weird collection of talent on Quarantine's side. We went over this a little bit, but it's just people from Finland, from Sweden, from Portugal, from the Netherlands. Kind of got everything mixed together in one bag there, but somehow they're making it work.
Yeah, I think, I can't say for sure. I'm going to be interviewing Fu for the ETF2L interview series. It's been a little bit delayed, but hopefully we'll get to see that next week. But I think it was maybe just a sort of situation where they desperately needed players at short notice. What with Tarkus getting banned, I think a few other players stepped away at the time. Beavern, of course, stepped back. He had a few prospects with some higher up teams, but it didn't work out for him. But they had to get players at short notice, and I think Zappis is just an unbelievable find for them. Obviously, he used to play at that high level, and now he's back again, but he has just been beasting it up in all the games so far. Even Kwon, or Kuhn, I can't pronounce his name correctly. I'm getting abuse from old grandma for this. But even he is really playing quite decently. For TLR, I'm really getting to Cyber. He's just an unbelievable pocket soldier. Like, his damage, his DM is sick, and Evilmoon's there to keep him in check. Heist as well is really finding his stride as demo man. He's got a great chemistry with this team. Maybe wouldn't put him in the same bracket as like Numlock, Karis and Red Shock just yet, but he's definitely coming into his own now, and I don't think he's going to have too much trouble with Fu. It should be a close enough battle, but I figure Heist will probably get the edge on that one. I'm predicting a TLR win, but hopefully it'll be close to EJC.
What really impresses me about Cyber for TLR, as you say, he's a really good pocket soldier now. He used to play Demo Man, and he was okay at it. He was able to play kind of to the Premiership level. Honestly, he was on the level of what you would say Fwo is these days, where he's just kind of on the fringe, on the borderline. He has some stuff he needs to improve, but he can kind of hold his own there. But once he made the switch to Pocket Soldier, where DM is still very important, your deathmatching is obviously huge when you're taking as many heals as the Pocket Soldier will, but having just a brain, just a functional and active brain is so important to playing Pocket Soldier, and Cyber always had that. It was just that his Demo Man deathmatch ability was not always up to par, but on Soldier, his fantastic brain works out quite well, and he's been very good for TLR so far.
Yeah, I think one of the greatest attributes you can have as a pocket soldier is patience, because he does a great job at keeping his medic alive, never leaves him exposed too often, and Evilmoon is also very apt at surviving. And right now I think we're going to go live, so I will say hello and welcome to VanillaTV. This is Marble with DJC and Comedian on the stream. We are here for the ETF2L Season 13 powered by TT Esports Premier Division Week 4 fixture between Quarantine and the Last Resort. This is Map 1, CP Snakewater. We're going to middle. What's happening, DJC?
Fwo is taking a very aggressive stance on this middle, already under the point. He has scout pressure on him, but his has already made a pick onto the star player of Quarantine, Zappis. Traxantic will get taken down by Kaiho's bomb there. And Fwo's aggression has actually paid off in spades here. Look at that line coming in with the 3-kill cleanup, takes on Cyber, Evilmoon, and Drosophile, so Cyber could not quite keep his medic alive there. And you see already Quarantiner trying to move through. There's just one player alive. That would be Donut for the Last Resort. He's getting chased underneath. He actually spots the medic right now, but gets shotgunned down by the aggressive bomb from Lime, and that will be a 4-kill for Lime on that middle.
Big plays from the new Swedish MG hero. Really nice middle from Quarantine there. They managed to pick off those initial aggressive TLR players and then just move forward like a red wave sweeping across the point there. Just a solid line of players, very well executed, and now they're sitting with a big Uber advantage. They got Uber and both scouts from the right side. Don't know who to go for though. They opt to go for the soldier, and they haven't really done much damage with this Uber now. TLR are coming out of their spawn, but Fu is doing big damage with those stickies. Kalho picks up Traxantic as well, and it looks like it could go either way. It's 3-on-3 right now. Quarantine struggling to find these last kills, but they've got time on the point. Cyber was waiting for it. He drops the hammer, gets a frag onto Fu, but it's too late. Zappis picks up a pistol on Cyber, and that's going to be 1-0 DJC.
who made a fantastic play there on last. I don't think anyone's ever going to really notice or think about. His was playing really deep on the underneath, waited for the push to come in, came in behind, cleaned up Vikoon, took down the medic, got a ton of damage on the demo, and it was when he died that the defense fell apart. But we are taking over the second middle right now, and once again you're going to see some aggression out of Foe here. He's getting pressured back by that scout, but he has his support now in the form of his pocket and medic. But zappis, early death once again, and look at the pressure coming out from his here. 2 kills, scouts on a Kritzonite, but the needle kill is going to go, and Donut is dead, but his with a 3 kill right now, and Cyber is going to clean up the last man in middle. The soldier goes down, and just like the first round, we see a convincing mid-win here, and Kritzonite is far enough behind on Uber that Quarantine do not even want to hold this, playing their typical defensive style, moving back to last already and giving up CP2.
Yeah, that's another really nice middle. This time TLR Scout, I think it was Donut, just ran straight across the point, put pressure on the Fool, really shit him up right there, and allowed Heist to come over and just dominate the ground, and the rest of TLR just were happy to hold up top. And once Heist had taken that point space, everyone else moved in, and right now the Ubers come in, but oh wow, Lime gets juggled forward, manages to get saved by his medic, but all he managed to execute really with that push was the forcing of the Ubers, DJC.
I did manage to get zappis right there, and I saw a soldier trying to peek out on the right, but we can take him on the stickies, and there is a scout in deep left, but Lime will come in and clean up Donut with his shotgun, so we'll see a resetting of the Ubers. TLR with a very slight advantage. It looks like Quarantine's decision to back it up and hold last has paid off for now with their sniper and heavy defense holding Snakewater last.
Yeah, right now we do see that heavy weapons guy. It's tough to push against him without Uber. I would like to see TLR whip out some sort of pick classes, but they've opted to play the cookie cutter lineup. That is 2 soldiers, 2 scouts, and that demo man. We do see zappis sniping here, and it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to deal with this. I guess they're just going to go into Uber versus Uber again and hope they actually get lucky this time. But really, they need a sort of a second push plan. A soldier jumps in really high, but he's going to struggle to force anything. A scout comes in, as everybody's looking skyward. The scout runs in. Who is it? It's Donut, but he gets taken out. He had such an opportunity there. Nobody was looking at him. Everybody looking at that sky-high soldier, but didn't manage to get anything done. And now they're 2 down. I think TLR are almost baiting the push out from Quarantine here. Fool gets picked off by a nice sticky trap there from Heist, and that might be all they need to go in here. Without that demo man, we're going to see Donut rocking the spy as well. Here comes the Uber DJC. It's going to be traded on the point here. The heavy's going to get focused down now. His medic needs to flash him. He does just in time. Managed to save that heavy weapons guy, but he doesn't have that 450 HP right now. But wow, Quarantine managed to clean up 3 frags, DJC. What did TLR need to do to break this defense?
Well, right now they have a spy going into last, going to try and 1v1 the heavy. Went back into spawn to switch, but I don't think Donut is aware that he could have just capped that point. Oh no, the heavy actually went up top. I saw him inching towards that spawn, but he decided against it. But Donut's going to go for the amazing play right now. The play where you peek out and let the heavy know you're there and just get instantly destroyed by his minigun. But there's a soldier bomb, meanwhile, going in on 2. Traxantic tries to come in for the play. We'll trade with Lime. And honestly, in the aggressor position, that's pretty good here. But he's going to come in and double kill, takes down the medic and demo man all by his lonesome. I mean, Cyber did a little bit of damage, but it doesn't really matter. But Kuhn is trying to make a play on the medic right now. We saw Kuhn end up in this situation a lot during our last cast, but it's not going to work out here as Cyber will finish him off. And with 3 players down for Quarantine and 2 spawns coming right now, looks like Cyber wants to push this aggressively. He's jumping in aggressive on the point right now. 2 soldiers there to greet him, but the Uber is popped, and there's a scout and soldier in doing huge work for TLR. Josephi will get the pick on the line, but look at this juking and this baiting from Kritzonite, going to take all the damage there. But Josephi is still in very good position last, despite the fact that 3 of his teammates have died. 2 of his teammates, excuse me, but Kuhn and Kalho are going to clean this up very well. Donut is still in though, and he gets a double kill on the Kalho and Vikoon, and he's taken down 3, but he cannot get the 4th. Demo Man will survive on a 112 health, holding last all by his lonesome. His wants to peek it, but sees that Kritzonite has spawned and will not risk it this time.
Yeah, Evilmoon survived there. He's got 30% Uber advantage right now, and he's going to know that. He is building like a madman. And they will be pushing on the button, I imagine, going to try and use that Uber advantage. I really like that aggressive play from TLR. Happy to go in with just 2 or 3 players and the Uber advantage. Trade didn't work out for them, they didn't get the point, but they managed to maintain their advantage. And now they're in a great spot. Cyber just takes a headshot there. He's going to need to be buffed up before this push gets underway. They need to go on the button though, as I said, if they want to make use of this. It's 85% for Kritzonite. A bit of dodge and he might be able to just juke enough to get that out. Looks like he will, and his team are surviving. No one gets picked yet. The heavy's taking all the damage. Everybody focus on Kalho. He finally goes down, and they pick up Lime. No, on the point, nobody. On the point, DJC. As my hand goes to my forehead.
TLR did make a very strong, aggressive play there, though, and that's the reason why nobody was on the point. They Ubered in, and the Uber was just kind of a distraction as both TLR scouts ran in, went directly to the point, got a lot of cap time on that, and the Heavy was trying desperately to get there, but he just could not make it in time and got focused down. But we are onto a third middle with this being 1-1, and you can see his trying to get some aggression out of the kitchen, and the scout for TLR is pressuring back the other Demo Man, and Donut's going to get the first pick. Zappis down 3 mids in a row as the first player. The big bomb is coming in here from Traxantic. He's doing a ton of damage, and Cyber will clean up his kill. And because of that huge bomb there and Zappis' early death, Quarantine are already backed up into their upper lobby. And are they really going to give up second already?
Looks like it. Oh, they're getting separated here. This soldier driving a wedge between Medic and Demoman. They're in the lobby. They're going to get a free pick there on the Traxantic, but it doesn't matter. They've already capped the point. It's going to be Uber versus Uber. Again, on middle, we saw that early scout pressure just forcing Full back, and Quarantine haven't reacted to it. They haven't read the last middle, and it looks like TLR might get another round out of this. They need to sort of adapt and read the game a little bit better if they want to stay competitive in this fixture right now. There are 22 minutes remaining. This is the ETF2L Season 13 Premier Division Week 4 fixture between Quarantine and The Last Resort. If you've just joined us, this game will decide if TLR will go back to first place. You're with Admirable, DJC and Comedian on the stream right now.
I'm watching Zappis because he switched back to Sniper for this defensive last once again. But Fwo's going to get the initial pick here on the Traxantic. Zappis tries for the shot on the scout, but that looks like it has held back TLR's push pretty well. I don't think Traxantic is known for his amazing off-class abilities with that 750 degree or 750 sensitivity setting he has in game. So I reckon he'll just be coming back on a soldier to see if he can get another force out.
Yeah, just had a message there from Epsilon Nux. Thought I was playing against him in a PCW right now. DJC, obviously, Crack Clan were supposed to be playing Epsilon in a official tonight, but Epsilon wildcard at that. They wanted to play the PCW anyway, some sort of tactics going on there, but it didn't happen, and I'm glad to be here to cast with you, so shout out to Epsilon for wildcarding that. Otherwise I wouldn't have this amazing opportunity, DJC.
Indeed, and shout out to me for being able to rearrange my schedule so that you can do this with me instead of a trialist caster. But TLR going to go for the suicides here once again, sending in Trax and Donut. But Lime hits some nice direct rockets there, and Fwo managed to take care of the scout, and that's going to be a push opportunity for Quarantine. The rare play here. I guess their Uber was forced, so they just decided to get it in. But Donut is going to pick up Lime, and Cyber's aggressive in onto Fwo, and here comes the backup. Kritzonite once again baiting himself will lead to a pick of Droso, and the back cap has been started here by Quarantine, but look at this. Cyber manages to pick the Heavy. Traxantic takes down the back cap, so it's a 1v1 on last. Here comes the scout to aggress and help, but his just cleans it up. Kritzonite and Zappis dancing around the point, and Cyber baiting the point there works out very well as The Last Resort will go up 2-1 here, Admirable. And you know what, man? You haven't gotten to do a middle yet, so I feel like it's your time to shine, James.
Oh wow, middle, how exciting. I'm going to be watching Droso as we roll out to middle. He is the scout. He keeps pressuring Fu back, buying his Demo Man enough space to get across there. He's just streaming straight onto that Demo Man. He's got him in his sights, opts to switch onto the scout. He focuses down Zappis there. Big pick from Droso and Donut with a little help from Heist. And already with that man advantage, Fu is getting separated from his medic, and he goes down to Traxantic shotgun. It's 3-on-4 though, with TLR at the disadvantage. The rest of Quarantine have been picking up the frags on the flanks, and Evilmoon and Droso are forced to get out. He's actually they're able to heal the scout, so he's going to have a fairly competitive Uber disadvantage. Will be able to get up in time to block if they want, but chances are they might hold. No, they're going to put on some pressure. They're not really going to commit out of the lobby, but they're trying to spam and see if they get any damage enough to force. They managed to separate a soldier into the corner, and that actually forces him to jump up. Evilmoon holds onto that Uber like a boss. Nerves of steel, and then he pops off just a little bit early. Not entirely sure if that was the best move, but I think he's actually baited Quarantine into overextending here because the rest of his team are right behind him. Quarantine felt they had to push off that little bit of milked Uber, and now they've got their Demo Man dropped, so that actually worked out really well. I guess Evilmoon is just a mastermind, DJC.
Yeah, I don't honestly know what went on there because I made all of the wrong camera choices watching Zappis die instantly on mid and then Cyber shoot the ground 4 times doing no damage, but TLR managed to retake this middle that they lost so convincingly. They have everyone there, both soldiers, the Demo, and Donut just waiting on that last scout to come in, and Quarantine as is their desire most of the time. If backed it up, they're just going to give TLR the chance to push into 2 and make a mistake. We can take a look at the Quarantine defense really quickly. This is kind of the standard. They have 1 scout holding on this forward shed, 1 on the little wooden fence right by the window, can dance in and out there, 1 soldier on the upper pipe, and then their combo and demo just holding near that safe ramp.
Yeah, Quarantine with the very defensive posturing. You know, if it's Uber versus Uber, I'm happy to hold close to the doors, try and exchange spam and get those picks, but they just want to sit back and let TLR make the mistakes. You know, they're giving them enough rope to hang themselves, if you will. And neither team seems like they really want to push, expecting the other to push. But with TLR holding the middle, the onus is really on them to make the action happen. And they are switching around. No, they're not even switching around DJC. They're just going to chill out because they're winning 2-1. They don't have to push. They're going to just play the clock. Even though there is still 17 minutes left, they're happy to see if Quarantine are going to do anything. They realise that they're not now. They're prodding through that right-hand door on the defender's perspective, but really, they're not going to commit anyone here. They're not even going to try and force. They're just going to sit, and I think the penny's going to drop for Quarantine pretty soon, DJC, that TLR are happy to hold here.
Yeah, the problem with this defense by Quarantine, it's a very solid defense. It's hard to breach, but at the same time, if it's hard to breach and you have a lead, why would you ever push in? Yeah, Donut's gonna sneak in through the lower right now. We gotta play the James Bond theme or Mission Impossible. We gotta get some nice espionage music out. He's actually gonna take the long route through lobby here, and I would imagine that as he's doing this, his team needs to be creating a distraction for him. Donut has an unobstructed path to the medic.
Boom!
Gets him! Kritzonite goes down! That is the cue to push. Donut will die for his awful sin of killing the medic, but Taylor gonna try and push in here, but that soldier on the pipe is doing a ton of damage, might even get the force out, and he in fact does, but Lime will trade his life for that 4, will make a pick on a Driz file as well, so there are no scouts alive right now for TLR to actually cap this, but I think they'll just be content shoving all of their heavy classes on top of it and defending their medic as they build this Uber up. Because of the fact that Evilmoon was forced there, this advantage is only going to be about 15%. So not nearly enough to get a timing push off of, so Quarantine will be able to set up their preferred defense of last.
Quarantine got that sniper out already, and Droso also running that scope, so it's going to be Kuhn versus Droso, sniper versus sniper. Kuhn needs to be careful, or sorry, Droso needs to be careful he doesn't peek out underneath this door, because there are stickies there. Both of them have stickied the same lower door. And I think they're trying to use the sniper as bait, but he does opt to switch up to that top left side. Droso now peeking on the left side on the attacker's perspective. Fires off 1 shot, no damage done. Both snipers have each other in their sights. This is intense. Headshot from zappis onto Droso. And that means that TLR will not be pushing in the immediate future. And potentially we might see Quarantine try and push up a little bit and get some more picks. zappis being very risque here with his positioning, trying to just walk in there and do a Tavik. But right now we see the TLR players just hiding, not giving him any line of sight. They're going to wait for the respawn. We see Droso has gone scout, so they're just going to try and go in here with a straight up deathmatch Uber versus Uber.
That should be fantastic. You know, you kind of missed it there, Admirable, but Quarantine were running 2 snipers on defense with both Kuhn and zappis swapping off there, which is what enabled zappis to get the kill. Droso knew where Kuhn was, but had no idea where zappis was, and zappis won the 2 versus 1 battle. Bit of an unfair fight, but I think that Quarantine will take it because they just stalled out this defense a bit longer. I'll be interested to see if TLR even want to attack this on even numbers, because there is a heavy up. Kalho is in that really good position above the point, can just kind of rotate around. It's a little easy to splash him from there, but splash damage really isn't going to be that effective against a heavy. So TLR's options are kind of limited, especially with Donut getting headshot there by zappis. Once again, hasn't been quite as impactful on Scout as we would have expected, but his sniper play is on par. It looks like Lime actually wants to get really aggressive here. They pop the Uber, but nobody's even there. They were so far off. Evilmoon's counter is going to come, but look at how far in Quarantine were, but no aggression out of TLR there, despite the fact that they had several seconds of Uber to push off of that with. Turns out to be a very good play from Quarantine, but it could be a very bad play because that just wasted time, and it's not like TLR are going to push once this Uber is up anyway.
I mean, it just seems like Quarantine were trying to bait TLR into overextending there. They wanted to... They did a very safe Uber. It was a single Uber. It was going to last the full 8 seconds there as they pushed out. They're definitely going to escape, but they wanted to... TLR to just chase the frags there and go in as the Uber was fading against that heavy weapons guy, but TLR are just playing a masterful game here. They know Quarantine love to hold, they know Quarantine want TLR to push and fail, so they're just going to defend because they're winning 2-1. And this might not be the most exciting play for spectators, but this is how you win. This is playing to win right here. They're going to sit back and just hope that Quarantine get really, really impatient and push out, but that might not happen. And actually TLR opt to Uber in here just as I say that, DJC. And this might be exactly what Quarantine wanted, as Evilmoon gets juggled up into the air by full stickies and destroyed by another air sticky. And 3 frags for Quarantine in exchange for 1. That is exactly what they wanted. They're going to be pushing out shortly. We've got Traxantic potentially for a back cat. He's been spotted. There's a heavy on last, and 2 scouts are all over him already. And it looks like Quarantine have played the long game and managed to push out here from last. Beautiful, DJC, beautiful.
Traxantic and Donut in on last though, and they combine to take down the heavy, and they're actually going to take the cap somehow. By some miracle, his was an upper lobby. Both scouts ran out, ate the first sticky from him, and he distracted them long enough to get Traxantic and Donut into last to make that play, and that will make it 3-1 in favor of TLR. What I was about to ream them for that awful play, awful push. But it works out in the end, despite the fact that they lost to Evilmoon. But we're going to take over the 5th middle here, and I want to see if Fwo has been beaten off of this aggressive play, because he's gotten destroyed the past few times. He will get aggressive on the point, and in fact hit a long-range pipe on the Josephile as Zappis goes down to his. So the Demo Man doing the early work here, and Fwo is getting the better of it as he's getting really aggressive on the point, and goes for the bottle onto his, which is a mistake as he gets piped down. The only relevant death right now for TLR is the fact that their pocket soldier Cyber is down. The Vikunat's point presence is going to run in and 2-shot his. Donut will clean him up, but Evilmoon is already well out of this fight, has nobody to heal, and Kritzonite is alive on point with 100% Uber, but they're backing off as well. I don't even understand, Admirable.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, the information was there for Kritzonite and Quarantine to recognise that Evilmoon had been out of the game. They had Uber advantage. They opt not to push back, but really an opportunity missed. I mean, it was an interesting middle from TLR. They rolled Hiss out through the kitchen there. I don't think they've done that at all so far, so they were, even though they'd won a couple...
Every mid. That's the first.
Okay, DJC. I am just getting everything wrong.
Mark's paid me off to get you back for last week's cast. So right now Lime is going to take down Traxantic because he tries to make an aggressive play, but it's not going to matter as the Demo Man Fwo will go down. I hear some uber sauce swings coming out as Kritzonite gets 2 onto Cyber before getting taken down. Lime will come up to clean up Cyber, but Evilmoon at 25% right now, and 3 down on each side. I don't think anyone's going to be pushing here, but TLR have by far the better of this Uber. 40% right now. They got that up to about 60 before Kritzonite even spawns. 50 if they build poorly, which they did. You know, whatever. Cool. We're both wrong in awful ways.
No one is wronger than me, DJC. I am just dropping many balls all over the place here. And right now we're going to see Quarantine, again, the very defensive position, up in the lobby. I think that's the right move because they are at such an uber disadvantage. The Snakewater CP2 is so dangerous because if you want to hold forward, you can easily get flanked and trapped. You have to play from that lobby if you want to be able to escape. They are buying time though with this spam, slowly but surely, but it's not going to be enough to get their Uber up in time to defend too. They do get that force off, so that's great for them right now. And it seems like the combo of TLR isn't exactly sure what to do. Evilmoon drops down below, but his soldier Cyber ends up top, and Heist pushes in on his own. They do manage to get frags out of this though, so it's going to be 4 versus 3. Quarantine about to get that Uber, but it mightn't even matter.
Kritzonite goes down to Traxantic's bomb there in a very good play, some coordination on a TLR as they rush Traxantic in off of Drosophile's retreat out of last, but unfortunately Evilmoon is stranded in no man's land against the MGE Master. Lime gets shotgunned down at the end there. There's a soldier and a scout alive for Quarantine, and they get another spawn up, but look at this, Donut once again swapping over to that spy, and this time in a much more advantageous position as Quarantine really can't push out of this despite their Uber advantage, but he's gonna get bumped by the scout trying to run in through the lower, and I don't know what the hell he's doing. Some intense evasive maneuvers here, actually gonna bait the scout out. Traxantic will clean him up, and Koon will take down Donut. Kalho, meanwhile, everyone, in fact, for Quarantine is already aggressive into 2. Koon with some huge plays here. Is that a 4 kill? That's a 3 kill. Close enough, only 1 off. But Evilmoon is actually swapped over to Kritzkrieg right now, Admirable. He's up to 65%, only a little bit, teeny tiny bit behind Quarantine's Uber.
DGC, I don't even want to say anything because it seems like whenever I say someone's about to get Uber, they just die. So I'm not going to curse this Kritzkrieg. I hope it's successful for TLR. Evilmoon has it in the bank right now. I wonder, will Heist be able to cash any checks with this Kritzkrieg here? They come in from the lower side. He hasn't popped it off yet. The Uber actually gets forced from Quarantine, and this is really dangerous. think they even knew about it. Just a train wreck right there. The crits comes off, he picks up Zappis, but just gets destroyed because Uber always wins against crits, man. Oh my god.
Well, that was bizarre, because as soon as Evilmoon got launched into the air and air shot, I assumed it was over for TLR, but his got one kill off of the crit sticky, a second kill after. Both scouts are alive here, trying to defend last. Kuhn's gonna take down Traxantic, but Cyber's just pushing on the point, has his shotgun out, doing work, but Dritzwild's gonna get both kills, taking down Kuhn and Zappis after the round. Gonna get a third and a fourth. That's a boy, droso. Rack those kills up after the round is end. We call those beavern kills here in the industry.
I discussed that with the Beaver at I-46 and he didn't seem too impressed, but I guess he's just happy to have some sort of infamy there. We're going to go to another middle, and it is normal Uber for Evilmoon, so it's going to be Uber versus Uber here on this middle. Both teams playing fairly standoffish, no initial frags, but the big bomb in from Lime has no effect as TLR just swallow that up, sponging that damage. Didn't even get a single frag. That aggression was totally ineffective from Quarantine. TLR looking dominant on this middle, DJZ.
And Kritzonite right now is trying to get out through the lower. His soldier's getting pressured. He will in fact find him, but now Kritzonite in a world of hurt as there is a scout. I would hope. No, he's not going to chase. He realizes the spawns are too close, even though it's just Lime. But I mean, Lime has been on fire tonight, having a pretty good game. Always doing a ton of damage, even if the frags aren't showing. It's because of Quarantine being so far behind, but the Uber's going to be popped into last here by TLR. Quarantine going to have their counter Uber come out. Cyber trying to get some juggles off here. Actually going to take the height advantage, but the soldier comes up to greet him with that last bit of Uber, and Lime is going to win that 1v1 engagement every time with 2 seconds of Uber to Cyber's none. Quarantine know that the time is ticking away. Only 7 minutes, 10 seconds left to go. They will take down Donut. That should be enough to push, but Drosophile's baiting everyone, and his is sticky. Zappis will go down, but that probably isn't enough to hold back Quarantine's aggression. But it is Quarantine, so who knows, man. I've seen them run away from an 80% Uber advantage before, but they are going to take control at this point, start the cap here. They have a demo and scout and soldier on it, but the spam is coming out from his. He's actually getting really aggressive here. Cyber's bomb comes in, takes down Kuhn, and his stickies are going to clean up Kritzonite. Cyber getting a second kill on the flow there, and here come the reinforcements for TLR. It's just Lime and Zappis alive, both on pretty full life. They're going to try and take down the scout in the lower right now. Lime with just effortlessly takes down Traxantic, but it's not going to matter as Droso and his flood into the point and capture this, making it 5-1, 6.5 minutes to go. Can TLR round this off, get the deciding 6th round in here, Admirable?
Yeah, guys, if you've just joined us, this is VanillaTV doing competitive Team Fortress 2 coverage in ETF2L's Premier Division. This game is almost at a conclusion, 6 minutes remaining, or one more cap for TLR will win this first map, Snakewater. We're on another middle and we see Fu just laying down a carpet of sticky. Not really... Oh, he picks up Heist actually from that kitchen side, and now Quarantine are sitting back, but the Donut comes in, picks up Zappis and Kritzonite, and somehow turns over that advantage. Evilmoon remains alive, so that's going to be a medic advantage and Uber advantage here for TLR. They're going to back out and play it safe, not even going to contest middle, but they know they can. Spawns are coming in 6 seconds. That's Donut and Cyber going to be back in the game. If they want, they could go and block middle, but they're happy not to.
Yeah, I mean, they have 100% Uber advantage. 100% Uber advantage, 5.5 minutes left, up 4 rounds. There is zero incentive for TLR to push this. They're going to sit here, they're going to hold 2, and they're going to do a quarantine play. They're going to make
crits from Kritzonite.
Crits from Kritzonite, I was just about to call that myself, if not for the ringing in my ears, so take it away, Admirable.
We've also got a sniper of Zappis who finds the head of Droso and actually instigates an Uber push from TLR at the same time here. This is pretty good for Kritzonite as long as he manages to stay alive. He can counter push here with the Uber. Super low health on Lime and Zappis. Zappis gets destroyed, and oh, Kritzonite overextends and eats a rocket from Traxantic. They could have just played it out there. There's still 5 minutes on the clock. I mean, maybe a little bit overzealous. I guess they're really at panic stations right now, DJC. They realise that this defensive playstyle has just been abused and used against them by TLR throughout the whole map so far.
I didn't get to see much of that push because I was on the ground on my knees clutching my head in agony. I have pretty bad tinnitus, but I was pretty confused to see Quarantine bring out the Crits Creek along with the aggressive sniper play on middle. It's not really the kind of play you would like to see with Crits Creek. I mean, you kind of need numbers to flood in from all angles to clean up the crits damage, to distract from the crits, and a sniper just doesn't really do that.
Yeah, that ringing sound in your ears might just be Byte's mind control, you know, to make sure you don't swear or tell any terrible jokes about drug abuse, etc. DJC, you know, you're a bit of a loose cannon. We've actually implanted a microchip in your head, so sorry for that, bro. We're pushing on to last right now, though. It's gonna be Uber versus no Uber here, and no frags coming initially, but I think Heist has done a little bit of damage. The Uber does get popped off from Kritzonite in the nick of time, and they are going to clean up, but it doesn't even matter. It's 5-1 here for TLR. They're happy to just keep running that clock down. They've managed to keep their medic Evilmoon alive, and they're going to have a small Uber advantage here. I'm not sure if they're aware of that, but if they build, they could push on the button and maybe make some magic happen, DJC.
Yeah, there could be some magic happening here, but I mean, once again, what incentive does TLR really have to push this? What incentive? I mean, Quarantine kind of have to just start getting aggressive here. The Uber is slightly behind, only about 10%, but Quarantine, this is their window to make something happen. Cyber's going to go down here, that hurts it a lot, but no Demo Man for Quarantine. Live, in fact, goes down as well. They'll trade demos there as his gets taken down. Quarantine do have some players spawning right now. Zappis aggressive on the right side, but the Uber just now comes up for Evilmoon. Zappis should have 1v1 the scout as the Uber is popped on the other side of the map. Zappis and Kalho down. TLR gonna stack onto this point. It's just Kritzonite alive. Why aren't you going for the clutch Ubersaw save, buddy? And he will get Ubersawed just by Evilmoon, showing him what he should have been doing. And that will make this TLR's map 6-1. They take it on CP Snakewater over Quarantine. Who's your man of the map, Admirable? I'm gonna spin it. I'm gonna put it on top of you for a change.
Well, I'm going to go for Evilmoon, you know, because I was talking about him in the pre-game. I've just got a hard-on for that guy. That last push was just great Uber awareness. You know, it was just a situation where they had Ubered in and Quarantine had Ubered slightly later, and they just built well, pushed on the button, and there was nothing Quarantine could do. Obviously, those entry frags helped a lot, but I'm going to give it to Evilmoon, the medic.
I think I'm going to have to give mine to his. I mean, he was always alive is the biggest thing, and he was just doing so much damage. He was always putting himself in position. I mean, even if your DM isn't spectacular like Cadis's or Numlocked, just being alive and in good position matters so much on the class, and that's pretty much what his did. Played very intelligently as well, always had himself with his combo, always safe. It was very well played from him, so I'm going to give it to him. You're going to give it to Evilmoon. And we're going to head over to CP Process.
We have seen the Last Resort pick up 3 points so far out of a potential 6. This has been VanillaTV. Stay tuned for the second map. I've been Admirable, you've been DGC, and Comedian on the stream. This has been ETF2L Season 13, powered by TT Esports, Premier Division, Week 4. Map 1, CP Snakewater, Quarantine against Last Resort. Last Resort come out with a 6-1 victory. I think we're going to go to some ads now, so stay tuned for the second map.